The star-speckled void of space erupted with a brilliant flash as the massive Zarkonian warship dropped out of hyperspace, its sleek, obsidian hull reflecting the distant light of Earth's sun. On the bridge, Supreme Commander Vexilor, a towering figure with iridescent scales and piercing violet eyes, gazed at the blue-green planet on the main viewscreen. So this is the homeworld of the species that dares to challenge the galactic hegemony, Vexilor hissed, mandibles clicking in anticipation. Prepare the communication array. Let us see what these, humans, have to say for themselves. On Earth, in the newly constructed United Earth Defense Command, UEDC, headquarters deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, alarms blared as sensors detected the alien vessel's arrival. General Sophia Chen, a battle-hardened veteran with steel-gray hair and eyes that had seen too much conflict, strode purposefully into the command center. "Status report," she barked, her voice cutting through the chaos of flashing screens and urgent chatter. A young lieutenant snapped to attention. "Ma'am, we've detected a single alien vessel in high Earth orbit. It's bigger than anything we've ever seen. They're hailing us." Chen's eyes narrowed. This was the moment humanity had been preparing forever since they discovered the existence of the galactic hegemony 3 years ago. "Put them through." The main screen flickered to life, revealing Vexilor's imposing visage. The alien's voice, translated through advanced AI algorithms, filled the command center. "Humans of Earth," Vexilor began, his tone dripping with condescension. "I am Supreme Commander Vexilor of the Zarkonian Empire, emissary of the galactic hegemony. Your recent advancements and expansion into the cosmos have not gone unnoticed. The hegemony has deemed your species a potential threat to galactic stability." General Chen stepped forward, her face a mask of calm determination. "Supreme Commander, I am General Sophia Chen of the United Earth Defense Command. We come in peace and seek only to explore and understand the universe around us. Surely there is room for cooperation and mutual understanding." Vexilor's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "Your platitudes are noted, General. However, the hegemony's decision is final. You have 2 Earth rotations to surrender your most advanced technologies, cease all space exploration efforts, and submit to hegemony rule. Failure to comply will result in unfortunate consequences for your world." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the UEDC command center in stunned silence. General Chen turned to her staff, her voice low but fierce. "Get me the President and the Joint Chiefs. And someone wake up Dr. Elara Vance. We're going to need Project Prometheus." As the command center erupted into frenzied activity, Chen allowed herself a moment of grim reflection. Humanity had hoped for peaceful first contact, for a chance to join a galactic community as equals. Instead, they faced an ultimatum that threatened everything they had built. In a secret laboratory beneath the Atacama Desert, Dr. Elara Vance, a brilliant physicist with wild red hair and a mind that operated on a different plane than most, received the urgent summons. Her hands trembled as she read the message, not from fear, but from a mix of anticipation and dread. Project Prometheus, her life's work, had been designed as humanity's failsafe, a weapon of last resort. She never thought they'd actually have to use it. As governments around the world were briefed on the situation, panic began to spread. Social media exploded with theories and fears, while world leaders struggled to present a united front. In New York, the United Nations convened an emergency session to discuss the hegemony's demands. Ambassador Zara Okoro of Nigeria addressed the assembly, her voice ringing with passion. "We cannot and will not submit to these demands. Humanity has fought too long and too hard for its freedom and progress to simply hand it over to an alien power, no matter how advanced they may be." Back in the UEDC headquarters, General Chen met with her top advisors. Colonel Jake Harper, a grizzled veteran with cybernetic enhancements from previous conflicts, voiced what many were thinking. "We can't possibly hope to defeat them militarily. Their technology is centuries beyond ours." Chen's eyes flashed with determination. "We don't need to defeat them, Jake. We just need to show them that conquering Earth will cost them more than they're willing to pay." She turned to the holographic display of Earth and the looming Zarkonian ship. "Dr. Vance is on her way with Project Prometheus. It's time we show the galaxy that humanity is not to be trifled with." As the clock ticked down on the hegemony's ultimatum, humanity faced its greatest challenge. The next 48 hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but humanity's place in the cosmos. In orbit, Supreme Commander Vexler watched the frantic communications and movement on the planet below with growing impatience. These humans were proving to be more resilient and united than intelligence had suggested. No matter, he thought. Once they witnessed the true power of the hegemony, they would fall in line like countless species before them. Little did Vexler know that deep beneath Earth's surface, in bunkers and secret facilities around the globe, humanity was preparing a response that would shake the very foundations of the galactic hegemony. The ultimatum had been delivered, but Earth's answer would be one that neither Vexler nor the hegemony could have anticipated. As the first day of the ultimatum drew to a close, General Chen stood at the window of her office, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple. In less than 24 hours, the fate of humanity would be decided. She clenched her fists, a fire burning in her eyes. "We will not go quietly," she whispered to herself. "If they want Earth, they'll have to burn everything we own, and we'll make sure they burn with us." As dawn broke on the second day of the ultimatum, Dr. Ilara Vance arrived at UEDC headquarters, her eyes bloodshot from a sleepless night of last-minute calculations and simulations. She was immediately ushered into a high-security briefing room where General Chen, world leaders, and top military brass awaited. "Dr. Vance," Chen nodded, "tell us about Project Prometheus." Ilara took a deep breath, her hands shaking slightly as she activated a holographic display. Project Prometheus is a quantum entanglement device capable of manipulating the fabric of space-time itself. In theory, it can create localized rifts that could, well, essentially burn through reality as we know it. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. President Emilia Rodriguez of the United North American Alliance leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "And you're certain this device won't destroy Earth in the process?" Ilara's laugh was tinged with hysteria. "Certain? No, but it's our best shot at showing the hegemony we're not defenseless." General Chen stepped in. "We're calling it Operation Stardust. The plan is to use the device to create a small-scale demonstration of its power, hopefully without causing catastrophic damage. It's a calculated risk, but one we must take." As preparations for Operation Stardust kicked into high gear, the Zarkonian ship maintained its ominous vigil above Earth. Supreme Commander Vexler grew increasingly agitated as the deadline approached with no sign of human capitulation. "Initiate planetary scan," Vexler ordered. "I want to know what these primitives are planning." But Earth had anticipated this. A global network of quantum scramblers, hastily activated, played havoc with the Zarkonian sensors. Vexler's subordinates could only report strange anomalies and inconclusive readings. Meanwhile, in a remote area of the Gobi Desert, a joint task force of scientists and military personnel worked feverishly to set up the Prometheus device. Dr. Vance, her wild red hair now tied back in a messy ponytail, made final adjustments to the quantum core. "Energy levels are stable," she reported. "We're as ready as we'll ever be." General Chen's voice crackled over the comms. "You have a go, Doctor. May God have mercy on us all." Ilara closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and activated the device. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing, a rift opened in the sky above the desert. It started small, a pinprick of absolute darkness that quickly expanded into a swirling vortex of unimaginable energy. On the Zarkonian ship, alarms blared as sensors detected a massive energy spike. Vexler watched in disbelief as the rift grew, its edges seeming to burn away the very fabric of space. "Impossible," he whispered, mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. Back on Earth, Dr. Vance worked frantically to control the rift, sweat beading on her forehead. It's stable, but only just. We can't maintain this for long. General Chen's voice was tense but controlled. Transmit the message. A tight beam transmission was sent directly to the Zarkonian ship, carrying an audiovisual feed from the Prometheus site along with a message. This is but a fraction of Earth's defensive capabilities. We will not surrender. We will not submit. And if you force our hand, we will burn everything you own, starting with your ship and expanding to the far reaches of your hegemony. For several tense minutes, there was no response from the alien vessel. The rift continued to swirl ominously in the Gobi sky, its edges flickering with energies beyond human comprehension. Finally, Supreme Commander Vexilor's voice came through, noticeably less confident than before. You're bluffing. No primitive species could possess such technology. General Chen's reply was ice cold. Care to test that theory, Commander? We have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Can you say the same? Another long pause. Then, the hegemony requires time to reassess the situation. We'll withdraw to a safe distance to conduct further analysis. As the massive Zarkonian ship began to move away from Earth orbit, a cheer went up in the UEDC command center. But General Chen remained focused. Don't celebrate yet, she warned. This is just the beginning. In the Gobi Desert, Dr. Vance carefully powered down the Prometheus device. As the rift slowly closed, she collapsed to her knees, exhausted but elated. We did it, she whispered. We actually did it. But even as Earth savored this small victory, new challenges loomed on the horizon. The galactic hegemony would not take this defiance lightly, and humanity had just announced its presence to the cosmos in the most dramatic way possible. As reports of the Gobi incident spread across the globe, a mix of fear and pride swept through the human population. They had stood up to an alien threat, and for the moment at least had prevailed. But what would be the cost of this defiance? In the UEDC war room, General Chen addressed her staff. We fought ourselves some time, but make no mistake, this is far from over. The hegemony will be back, and they'll bring everything they have. We need to be ready. Colonel Harper nodded grimly. What's our next move, General? Chen's eyes gleamed with determination. We take the fight to them. Operation Stardust was just the beginning. Now we prepare for war. As night fell on a changed Earth, humanity stood at the precipice of a new era. They had declared their intention to burn everything the hegemony owned if pushed. Now they had to prepare to make good on that threat, or face annihilation. In the vast emptiness of space, Supreme Commander Vexilor's ship retreated, but not in defeat. As he composed his report to the Hegemony Council, Vexilor's mandibles clicked in a predatory grin. The humans had surprised him, yes, but they had also revealed themselves as a true threat, and the hegemony did not tolerate threats. Enjoy your victory, humans, Vexilor hissed to himself. It will be short-lived. The battle for Earth's future had only just begun, and the stars themselves would bear witness to the struggle that was to come. 3 months after Operation Stardust, Earth had transformed into a planet-wide fortress. The brief respite granted by the Zarkonian retreat had been used to its fullest, with every nation pooling resources and knowledge in an unprecedented display of global unity. In low Earth orbit, a network of defense satellites bristled with weaponry reverse-engineered from scavenged alien tech. On the ground, cities had been fortified and evacuation protocols drilled into every citizen. The Prometheus device, now replicated at key points around the globe, stood as humanity's trump card, a deterrent that had so far kept the hegemony at bay. But the calm was about to break. At UEDC headquarters, General Chen stared at the holographic display, her face grim. They're here, she announced, her voice cutting through the tense silence of the command center. The screen showed hundreds of hegemony warships dropping out of faster-than-light travel, forming a blockade around Earth. Leading the armada was a vessel that dwarfed even Vexilor's imposing warship, the hegemony flagship Eternal Dominion. As the alien fleet took position, a transmission cut through Earth's communications networks. The face that appeared on screens worldwide was not Vexilor's, but that of Grand Arbiter Zixlara, the supreme leader of the galactic hegemony. Her form was almost ethereal, with translucent skin that pulsed with bioluminescence and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. People of Earth, Zixlara's voice resonated with an otherworldly harmony. Your defiance has been noted. Your primitive attempt at intimidation was amusing. But now you face the full might of the hegemony. Surrender, and you may yet have a place in our grand design. Resist, and you will be erased from the cosmos. President Rodriguez, standing beside General Chen, stepped forward to respond. Grand Arbiter, we have no quarrel with your people. We seek only to maintain our independence and our right to explore the stars. Surely there's room enough in this vast universe for coexistence. Zixlara's laugh was like tinkling crystal, beautiful yet chilling. Coexistence. With primitives who would upset the delicate balance we have maintained for eons? I think not. You have one Earth rotation to reconsider your position. After that, we will commence cleansing protocols. As the transmission cut off, Chen turned to her staff. Battle stations. This is not a drill. Initiate Operation Firestorm. Across the globe, military forces mobilized. Fighters scrambled, naval vessels set sail, and ground troops took defensive positions. In secret bunkers, scientists and engineers worked feverishly to bring experimental weapons online. Dr. Ilara Vance, now heading a global team of brilliant minds, put the finishing touches on an upgraded version of the Prometheus device. General, she reported, her voice tense but determined, Project Helios is ready. But I must warn you, using it could have unforeseen consequences on a galactic scale. Chen nodded grimly. Understood, Doctor. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. As the deadline approached, humanity held its collective breath. Would the hegemony call their bluff? Or would Earth soon become a battleground unlike any in human history? The answer came with the dawn. As the sun rose over the Pacific, the hegemony fleet launched its first salvo. Energy beams lanced down from orbit, targeting Earth's major cities and military installations. But humanity was ready. The defense grid sprang to life, quantum shields flickering into existence around key targets. While some shots got through, causing devastation, the majority were deflected or absorbed. Return fire, Chen ordered, and Earth's defenses roared to life. Railguns, plasma cannons, and exotic matter projectors, the fruits of humanity's frantic technological leap, sent a hail of destruction toward the hegemony fleet. To the aliens' shock, their ships began to fall. Humanity's weapons, while fewer in number, packed a punch that caught the overconfident hegemony off guard. On the Eternal Dominion, Grand Arbiter Zixlara watched in disbelief as battle reports streamed in. Impossible, she hissed, her bioluminescence flaring with anger. These primitives cannot stand against us. Vexilor, deploy the planet Crackers. Supreme Commander Vexilor, now relegated to a subordinate role, hesitated. Grand Arbiter, the use of such weapons violates our own laws of engagement. The humans have shown. Silence. Zixlara's voice boomed. I will not be defied by insects. Deploy the weapons, or I'll find someone who will. As the battle raged on, massive devices began to descend from the hegemony ships, the infamous planet Crackers, weapons capable of shattering a world's crust and rendering it uninhabitable. In the UEDC war room, alarms blared. General, a young lieutenant called out, panic evident in his voice, we're detecting massive energy buildups from multiple points in the enemy fleet. Our simulations suggest they're preparing to destroy the planet. Chen's face hardened. She turned to the secure line connecting her to every world leader. Madam President, honored leaders, it's time. Initiate Project Helios. God help us all. Around the world, the upgraded Prometheus devices hummed to life. Dr. Vance, monitoring from her lab, felt a chill run down her spine. "Energy levels are stable," she reported. "Quantum entanglement is holding. On your command, General." Chen took a deep breath. "Do it." For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound that defied description, reality itself seemed to tear open. Massive rifts appeared in space, their edges burning with energies beyond human comprehension. The hegemony fleet, caught off guard, found itself being pulled apart by forces they couldn't understand. On the Eternal Dominion, Zixlara watched in horror as her mighty armada was decimated. Ships were torn asunder, their debris sucked into the swirling vortexes. The planet Crackers, moments away from activation, imploded spectacularly. "What is this madness?" she screeched, her ethereal form flickering with fear for the first time in millennia. Back on Earth, Chen watched the destruction with a mix of awe and terror. "Dr. Vance, status report." Ilara's voice was strained. "The rifts are stable, but they're growing beyond our calculations. If we don't shut them down soon, we risk tearing apart the fabric of space-time itself." Chen nodded grimly. "Do it, and pray we haven't just doomed ourselves in the process." As the Prometheus devices were powered down, the rifts slowly began to close. In their wake, they left a graveyard of hegemony ships and a stunned silence that seemed to echo across the cosmos. The battle for Earth was over, but the war had just begun. Humanity had shown the galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with, capable of burning everything the hegemony owned. But at what cost? And how would the rest of the galaxy react to this upstart species that had just defeated the supposedly invincible hegemony? As the dust settled and damage reports began to pour in, General Chen allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. They had survived against all odds. But deep down, she knew this was only the beginning. "Get me a secure line to the President," she ordered, "and someone find out if we can salvage any of that alien tech. Something tells me we're going to need every advantage we can get for what comes next." The stars watched silently as humanity, blood-allied but unbowed, prepare for the next phase of their cosmic struggle. In the aftermath of Earth's stunning victory against the hegemony, the planet was a study in contrasts. Celebrations erupted in cities worldwide, tempered by the sobering reality of the destruction wrought by the alien assault. As humanity began the process of rebuilding, a new challenge emerged, navigating the complex political landscape of a galaxy in upheaval. General Chen stood before the United Nations Security Council, her uniform crisp, despite the exhaustion evident in her eyes. "The hegemony has been dealt a significant blow, but we'd be fools to think this is over. We need to prepare for their retaliation and explore every possible advantage." President Rodriguez nodded in agreement, "Which is why we've greenlit Operation Cosmic Handshake. General, if you would." Chen activated a holographic display showing a map of nearby star systems. "Our long-range scans, enhanced by salvaged hegemony tech, have detected numerous civilizations in our cosmic neighborhood. Some appear to be under hegemony control, while others seem to be independent. We propose sending out diplomatic missions to these worlds, seeking allies in our fight against the hegemony." The council chamber erupted in heated debate. Some argued for isolation, focusing on building up Earth's defenses. Others pushed for aggressive expansion, striking at the hegemony while they were weakened. In the end, a compromise was reached. Earth would reach out to potential allies while continuing to strengthen its military capabilities. Dr. Ilara Vance, now heading the newly formed Xenotechnology Division, approached Chen after the meeting. "I've been analyzing the hegemony's communication protocols. We might be able to tap into their network, gather intelligence on potential allies and enemies." Chen's eyes lit up. "Do it. And Ilara, good work. Humanity owes you a debt we can never repay." As Earth prepared its diplomatic course for their cosmic journey, the first surprise came from an unexpected quarter. A small, unassuming ship appeared at the edge of the solar system, broadcasting on all frequencies. "People of Earth, we come in peace and admiration. We are the Zorlak, and we wish to stand with you against the tyranny of the hegemony." The Zorlak, it turned out, were a race of highly intelligent, gelatinous beings who had long chafed under hegemony rule. Inspired by Earth's defiance, they had risked everything to make contact. Ambassador Jenna Ortiz, a seasoned diplomat with a gift for interspecies communication, was chosen to lead the talks with the Zorlak. As she boarded the newly christened starship, Horizon, for her journey to the Zorlak homeworld, she couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. Who would have thought, she mused to her aide, that humanity's first allies in space would be sentient jellyfish? Meanwhile, Dr. Vance's team made a breakthrough in decrypting hegemony communications. "General," she reported, her eyes wide with excitement, "we've intercepted transmissions suggesting widespread unrest in hegemony-controlled worlds. It seems our victory has inspired others to resist." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Excellent work, Doctor. This could change everything." As the weeks passed, more alien delegations arrived in the Sol system. The Kreks, a warrior race with a strict code of honor, pledged their formidable military might to Earth's cause. The Luminari, beings of pure energy, offered their vast knowledge of cosmic phenomena. Even a faction of renegade Zarkonians, led by none other than Vexlor himself, defected to the human side. Vexlor, his once imposing frame now humbled, stood before the UN Security Council. "I was wrong about your species," he admitted, mandibles clicking softly. "Your victory showed me the corruption at the heart of the hegemony. I and those who follow me wish to make amends, and to fight alongside you." Not all encounters were friendly, however. The Vorlath, a highly xenophobic species, responded to Earth's overtures with immediate hostility. Only the quick thinking of Ambassador Ortiz and the timely arrival of a Krex battle cruiser prevented a diplomatic disaster from turning into a military confrontation. Back on Earth, Chen and her team worked tirelessly to integrate the new alien technologies and knowledge into humanity's defenses. The Prometheus devices were refined, their power harnessed more precisely. Salvaged hegemony ships were reverse-engineered, their secrets unlocked to produce a new generation of human starships. In a secret facility beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Vance put the finishing touches on Project Oracle, a quantum AI designed to process and analyze the vast amounts of data flowing in from across the galaxy. As the system came online, its first prediction sent shockwaves through the UEETC. High probability of major hegemony offensive within 60 Earth days. Estimated force, 3 times larger than previous assault. Chen's face hardened as she read the report. "They're coming back, and this time they're not underestimating us." She turned to her staff. "Send word to our allies. It's time to form the Galactic Coalition." As representatives from a dozen alien races converged on Earth for an emergency summit, the planet buzzed with a mixture of fear and determination. Humanity had found friends among the stars, but would it be enough to face the coming storm? In orbit, the combined fleet of Earth and its allies began to assemble. Ships of various designs and technologies formed up, a visual representation of the unlikely alliance that had formed in the face of hegemony tyranny. Ambassador Ortiz, freshly returned from her latest diplomatic mission, stood with General Chen and Dr. Vance as they watched the fleet grow. "It's beautiful," she breathed, taking in the sight of so many different species working together. "And terrifying," Chen added grimly. "We're about to face a fight of our lives." Dr. Vance nodded, her eyes fixed on the stars. "But this time, we're not alone." As the coalition prepared for war, a message was broadcast across the galaxy, reaching even the farthest hegemony worlds. "To all those who suffer under the yoke of tyranny, take heart. Earth and its allies stand ready to burn away the chains of oppression. Join us, and together we will forge a new future among the stars." The stage was set for a conflict that would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of the entire galaxy. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive upstarts, now stood at the center of a cosmic revolution. The hegemony had threatened to burn everything they owned. Now, humanity and its allies were prepared to return the favor, and in the process, set the galaxy ablaze with the fire of freedom. As the 60-day countdown to the hegemony's predicted assault ticked away, Earth and its newfound allies worked feverishly to prepare. The Galactic Coalition, as it had come to be known, transformed the Sol system into a fortress unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Massive space stations, their designs a fusion of a dozen different alien architectures, formed a defensive perimeter around Earth's orbit. Fleets of ships patrolled the system's edges, their crews a kaleidoscope of species united against a common foe. On Earth, General Chen stood in the newly constructed Coalition Command Center, a marvel of xenotechnology buried deep beneath the Himalayas. Around her, holographic displays showed real-time data from across the galaxy, courtesy of Project Oracle and the combined intelligence networks of the Coalition races. Status report, Chen barked, her eyes scanning the screens for any sign of hegemony movement. Colonel Harper, now sporting several alien tech augmentations, responded crisply. Coalition fleet is at 95% readiness, General. The Krex battle groups have taken up defensive positions in the outer system, and the Luminari have completed their quantum entanglement network for faster-than-light communications. Dr. Vance, her red hair now streaked with silver from the stress of recent months, added, Project Oracle is running at full capacity. We're processing data from our deep space probes and Coalition intelligence. No sign of hegemony movement yet, but she trailed off, her brow furrowing. But what, Doctor? Chen pressed. Oracle is predicting a 78% chance that the hegemony's attack will come from an unexpected vector. It's analyzing possibilities now. Chen nodded grimly. Heap on it. We can't afford any surprises. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the command center. A young lieutenant shouted, massive spatial distortions detected. Multiple points, they're everywhere. The holographic displays erupted with activity as thousands of hegemony ships suddenly appeared, not at the system's edge as expected, but throughout the Sol system itself. They had somehow bypassed the outer defenses entirely. Impossible, Vexilor hissed, his mandibles clicking rapidly. They developed some form of mass teleportation technology. We never even conceived of such a thing. Chen's mind raced, quickly adapting to the new situation. All Coalition forces, this is General Chen. The enemy is among us. Engage at will. Protect Earth at all costs. The battle erupted with a ferocity that defied description. Coalition ships, caught off guard but quick to respond, clashed with hegemony forces in a dizzying array of advanced weaponry and tactics. On Earth, the Prometheus devices sprang to life, opening rifts in space that swallowed entire enemy squadrons. But the hegemony had learned from their last encounter. Many of their ships now sported shields that seemed to resist the gravitational pull of the rifts. In orbit, Ambassador Ortiz found herself in the thick of the fight. Her diplomatic vessel, retrofitted with Krex weaponry, darted between larger ships, providing support where needed. We need to find a way to shut down their teleportation tech, she shouted over the comms. Otherwise, they'll just keep bringing in reinforcements. Dr. Vance's voice crackled over the channel. Working on it. Project Oracle is analyzing their energy signatures, if we can isolate the frequency. The battle raged for hours, with neither side gaining a clear advantage. The Sol system became a graveyard of broken ships and shattered dreams. Earth itself took several direct hits, its major cities protected only by the last-minute activation of planetary shields reverse-engineered from hegemony tech. In the midst of the chaos, a Luminari scout made a crucial discovery. Coalition Command, we've detected a massive energy source at the edge of the Oort cloud. It appears to be the focal point of their teleportation network. Chen's eyes lit up. This was the break they needed. All available forces converge on those coordinates. Dr. Vance, prepare a full power burst from all Prometheus devices. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. As coalition ships fought their way through the hegemony lines, Earth's secret weapon prepared to fire. The Prometheus devices, now linked in a globe-spanning network, hummed with power that threatened to tear reality itself apart. At Chen's command, the devices activated. A massive rift, larger than any previously created, opened near the hegemony's teleportation hub. The coalition fleet, warned in advance, managed to avoid the rift's pull. The hegemony forces were not so lucky. Thousands of enemy ships, along with the teleportation hub itself, was swallowed by the swirling vortex of space-time. As suddenly as it had begun, the hegemony's advantage evaporated. Grand Arbiter 6 Lara, watching from her flagship at the edge of the system, screeched in fury. Impossible. These primitives cannot defeat us. We are eternal, we are. Her tirade was cut short as a combined blast from a Krex dreadnought and a squadron of Earth's newest starships tore through her vessel's defenses. The Eternal Dominion, pride of the hegemony fleet, erupted in a spectacular explosion that seemed to signify the turning of the tide. With their leader fallen and their reinforcements cut off, the remaining hegemony forces began to retreat. But the coalition, blood up and victory in sight, pressed their advantage. "No quarter," General Chen commanded, her voice cold. "We end this now, or we'll be fighting this war for generations." The next few hours were a mop-up operation. Coalition forces, their confidence soaring, systematically destroyed or captured the remaining hegemony ships. Those that managed to flee were pursued to the edges of the system, where waiting coalition task forces ensured they would not escape to threaten other worlds. As the last hegemony ship fell silent, a cheer went up across the coalition fleet. Earth, against all odds, had not only survived, but had dealt a potentially fatal blow to the dominant power in the galaxy. In the coalition command center, General Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Well done, everyone, but don't celebrate just yet. We've won the battle, but the war is far from over." Dr. Vance nodded in agreement. The hegemony still controls vast swaths of the galaxy. They'll regroup, try to crush any inspired rebellions. We need to press our advantage. Ambassador Ortiz, her diplomatic vessel now docking at the Coalition space station, joined the conversation via hologram. "I've already received communiques from a dozen worlds, inspired by our victory. They're ready to throw off the hegemony's shackles, but they need our help." Chen's eyes gleamed with determination. "Then that's exactly what we'll give them. The hegemony threatened to burn everything we own. Now we'll burn away that empire, world by world if we have to." As the coalition forces began to regroup and repair, plans were already being drawn up for the next phase of the war. The galactic hegemony, once thought invincible, was now on the defensive. And humanity, the upstart species that had dared to challenge the cosmic order, found itself at the forefront of a revolution that would reshape the galaxy. The stars themselves seemed to burn brighter that day, as if in approval of the new era dawning across the cosmos. The fire of freedom, ignited on Earth, was about to spread across the galaxy, burning away millennia of oppression and fear. The real war, it seemed, was just beginning. In the months following the Battle of Seoul, as it came to be known, the galaxy underwent a transformation unlike any in recorded history. The Galactic Coalition, with Earth at its heart, embarked on a campaign that would be remembered for millennia to come. General Sophia Chen, now Supreme Commander of Coalition forces, stood aboard the bridge of the CSS Prometheus, Earth's most advanced warship. The vessel represented the pinnacle of combined human and alien technology, a symbol of what could be achieved through cooperation. "Status report," Chen commanded, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing their next target, Hegemony Central, the crown jewel of the empire they sought to dismantle. Colonel Harper, his cybernetic implants glowing softly, responded, "All Coalition battle groups report ready, Supreme Commander." The Krex shock troops are in position, and the Luminari have established their quantum communication network. Dr. Elara Vance, now head of the Coalition Science Division, added, "Project Oracle predicts a 92% chance of success, given our current strategy. But be warned, the hegemony's home defenses are unlike anything we've encountered so far. Chen nodded, her face set in grim determination. Send the signal. Operation Phoenix begins now. Across the galaxy, coalition forces moved in concert. Freed worlds rose up against their hegemony overlords, supported by coalition ships and troops. The Prometheus devices, now refined and miniaturized, were deployed strategically, opening rifts that swallowed hegemony strongholds whole. Ambassador Jenna Ortiz found herself on the front lines of a different kind of battle. On world after world, she led diplomatic missions, convincing former hegemony subjects to join the coalition. Her gift for interspecies communication proved invaluable as the alliance grew to include dozens of new races. We're not here to replace one empire with another, Ortiz assured a gathering of alien leaders on the newly liberated world of Sar Prime. The coalition stands for freedom, for the right of all sentient beings to chart their own course among the stars. Back on Earth, the planet had become a buzzing hive of interstellar activity. Alien ambassadors walked the streets of major cities, and xenocultural exchange programs flourished. Humanity, once isolated in the cosmos, now found itself at the center of a galactic community. President Rodriguez addressed the United Nations, her words broadcast across coalition space. We stand at a crossroads of cosmic history. The hegemony sought to burn everything we owned. Instead, we have kindled a fire of freedom that spreads across the stars. But with this great power comes great responsibility. We must ensure that the coalition we've built becomes a force for progress, not dominance. As the coalition closed in on Hegemony Central, resistance stiffened. The remaining hegemony loyalists, led by a cadre of hardline military commanders, fought with the desperation of those who knew their way of life was coming to an end. The final battle for Hegemony Central was a spectacle that would be recorded in the annals of galactic history. The sky above the planet burned with the exchange of weapons fire that could shatter worlds. On the surface, coalition ground forces, a patchwork army of a dozen species, fought street by street to dismantle the last vestiges of hegemony control. In orbit, the CSS Prometheus found itself in a deadly duel with the last of the hegemony's planet-killer ships. Chen watched as her crew, human and alien working in perfect harmony, maneuvered the ship with precision that would have been impossible just a year ago. Now, Dr. Vance, Chen ordered as they achieved the perfect position. Ilara, her hands dancing over the controls of a device that melded Prometheus technology with insights gained from a dozen alien sciences, activated their final weapon. A rift unlike any before opened beneath the hegemony vessel, its edges burning with energies that defied comprehension. By the cosmic void, Vexlor breathed, watching from his station on the Prometheus's bridge. We've created a controlled black hole. The hegemony ship, for all its power, could not resist the gravitational pull. As it was torn apart and swallowed by the singularity, Chen gave the order to close the rift, sealing away the threat forever. On the planet below, Ambassador Ortiz stood in what had once been the hegemony's Grand Assembly Hall. Surrounding her were representatives from hundreds of worlds, former subjects and victims of the hegemony's rule. With quiet dignity, she spoke the words that would shape the future of the galaxy. Today, we declare the galactic hegemony dissolved. In its place, we establish the United Galactic Alliance, a confederation of free worlds dedicated to peace, progress, and the rights of all sentient beings. As word spread across the stars, celebrations erupted on countless worlds. Species that had been enemies for millennia found themselves united in joy and hope for the future. The fire that Earth had ignited had indeed burned away an empire, but from its ashes, something new and beautiful was emerging. Months later, on a balcony overlooking a transformed Times Square in New York, General Chen stood with Dr. Vance and Ambassador Ortiz. Below them, humans mingled with aliens of all descriptions, the street alive with the sounds of a dozen languages. "We did it," Ortiz said softly, her eyes misting with emotion. "We actually did it." Vance nodded, a rare smile on her face. We burned everything they owned, just like we promised, but we built something greater in its place. Chen's expression remained serious, but there was a glimmer of pride in her eyes. This is just the beginning. We've reshaped the galaxy, but now comes the hard part, ensuring it stays reshaped for the better. As they watched, a group of alien children ran by, laughing and playing with their human counterparts. It was a simple scene, but one that embodied everything they had fought for. The stars shone brightly that night, seeming to approve of the new era dawning across the cosmos. Humanity, once a primitive species trapped on a single world, had risen to become the architects of a galactic revolution. They had faced the fire, emerged stronger, and in the process, lit a beacon of hope that would burn for eons to come. The galaxy would never be the same again. And somewhere out in the vast expanse of space, new adventures, new challenges, and new wonders awaited. The story of humanity among the stars was just beginning.